The story is set in an alternate future of the DC universe. The new generation of heroes have lost their moral compass, becoming as reckless and violent as the villains they fight. The previous regime of heroes, the Justice League, returns under dire circumstances, which sets up a battle of the old guard against these uncompromising protectors, and a conflict that will define what heroism truly is and determine the future of the planet. In this Elseworld story, Superman and the Justice League abandon their roles as superheroes after the rise and strong public support of a superhero named Magog, who has no qualms about killing, notably the Joker, before his trial for the mass murder of the Daily Planet staff, including Lois Lane. In the ensuing years, a newer generation of superpowered metahumans arise, and they engage in destructive battles with little distinction between heroes and villains. The narrator, Minister Norman McKay, receives apocalyptic visions of the future from a dying Wesley Dodds. The Spectre appears to McKay and recruits him to help pass judgment on the approaching superhuman apocalypse. An attack on the Parasite led by Magog goes awry when Parasite tears open Captain Atom. As a result, much of the American Midwest is irradiated, killing millions and destroying a large portion of the United States food production. Coaxed back into action by Wonder Woman, Superman returns to Metropolis and reforms the Justice League. He recruits new and old heroes. The most prominent exception is Batman, who resents Superman for leaving the world 10 years ago. Batman warns him that his idealistic notions are outdated and his violent interference will only exacerbate the world's problems. In response to Superman's Justice League, Batman activates his own network of agents, the Outsiders, made up largely of younger, second and third generation heroes, trusted veterans such as Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Blue Beetle, are chosen as lieutenants. Lex Luthor organizes the Mankind Liberation Front. The MLF is secretly a group of Golden Age villains and third generation villains like Ra's al Ghul's successor, Ibn al-Sufash, who is Bruce Wayne, and Talia al Ghul's son. The MLF works to take control of the world from the heroes. Superman's Justice League gathers more captives than converts, and his prison, nicknamed the Gulag, is quickly filled to capacity. Superman works to persuade the inmates that their methods are wrong-headed and dangerous, to no avail. With hostile heroes and villains locked up together, pressure builds. Meanwhile, Superman learns that Wonder Woman's ardent militant stance may be influenced by her recent exile from Paradise Island. In the eyes of the Amazons, her mission to bring peace to the outside world has failed, and she has thus been stripped of her royalty. Batman and his outsiders seem to ally themselves with MLS against the Justice League. Luthor's plan is to exacerbate conflict between League and Gulag's inmates. Batman quickly discovers that an adult Billy Batson is under Luthor's control. Batson, as Captain Marvel, is the only metahuman capable of matching Superman's power. When the inmates riot and kill Captain Comet, Luthor unwittingly reveals to Batman he intends to use the brainwashed Batson to break open the Gulag. Batman forces ambush Luthor and his conspirators, but are unable to restrain Batson, who transforms into Marvel and flies off. While Wonder Woman leads the Justice League to the prison riot, Superman confronts Batman. Batman tries to justify inaction, saying the world would be better off if all the metahumans destroyed each other. However, Superman knows that Batman will act because his entire crime-fighting life is based upon the desire to prevent the loss of life. Moved by Superman's sentiments, Batman tells him that Captain Marvel is under Luthor's control and is on the way to the Gulag. Superman races to the prison, but upon arrival is struck down by Captain Marvel. The Gulag is breached, freeing the population and inciting war between them and the Justice League. Batman's army arrives on site as an intervening third party, but is unable to stop Wonder Woman from killing the supervillain Von Botch, which increases the fury of the riot. As conditions worsen, United Nations Secretary General Wormwood authorizes the deployment of 3 tactical nuclear warheads hardened against metahumans. In the middle of their fight, Batman and Wonder Woman see the incoming bombers piloted by the Black Hawk Squadron. They break off fighting and manage to stop 2 bombs, but miss the 3rd. Captain Marvel uses his lightning bolt as a weapon against Superman, who manages to grab Marvel and allow the bolt to transform him into Billy Batson. Holding Batson's mouth shut, Superman tells him he is going to stop the remaining bomb. Batson must make a choice: either stop Superman and allow the warhead to kill all the metahumans, or let Superman stop the bomb and allow the metahumans' war to engulf the world. Superman tells Billy Batson he must be the one to decide, as he is the only one who lives in both worlds, as a man as Billy Batson and a god as Captain Marvel. Batson, his mind now clear of Luthor's influence, turned back into Captain Marvel. He flings Superman to the ground and flies after the missile. Marvel intercepts the missile and shouts, "Shazam!" 3 times in rapid succession, detonating the bomb prematurely, killing Batson in the process. Despite Marvel's sacrifice, most of the metahumans are obliterated in the explosion. Superman is unharmed but does not realize that there are any other survivors. Enraged at the tremendous loss of life, he flies to the UN building and threatens to kill the delegates as punishment for the massacre. The surviving metahumans arrive, but McKay is the one who talks him down, pointing out how his appearance and behavior are exactly the sort of reasons that normal humans fear the superpowered Superman immediately ceases his rampage. He is handed Captain Marvel's cape and tells the UN that he will use his wisdom to guide rather than lead humankind. Superman ties Captain Marvel's cape to a flagpole and raises it among the flags of the members of the nations of the UN, suggesting that this role of guidance will be more political and global in nature than the classic crime-busting vigilantism of the past. In the epilogue, the heroes strive to become fully integrated members of the communities. Wonder Woman's exile from Paradise Island ends. She becomes an ambassador for superhumanity, taking the survivors of the Gulag to Paradise Island for rehabilitation. Batman abandons his crusade and becomes a healer, rebuilding his mansion as a hospital to care for those wounded by the destruction of the Gulag. He reconciles with both Dick Grayson and Ibn al-Safash. Superman begins the task of restoring the Midwestern farmlands devastated after Magog's attack. He comes to terms with his past as Clark Kent by accepting a pair of glasses from Wonder Woman and shares a kiss with her before she returns to Paradise Island. Norman McKay resumes pastorship of his congregation, preaching a message of hope for humanity. Among the congregation is Jim Corrigan, the Spectra Humans host. There you have it. Kingdom Come 1 through 4.